By the name of Allah, the most compassionate and most merciful. Dear student, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am conveying my greeting and best wishes. I pray for your health. Hope that everyone is doing well along with your daily life activity. May we all be protected from all sort of disastrous and evil situations. Since we are delivering the online lecture, hope that the students get the benefit from these lectures from your home and doorsteps. We are responsible to transfer the knowledge till to your doorsteps, and you are responsible to make it understandable and useful in your life. Since we are talking about the industrial psychology, that it is a specialized field of psychology in a branch of social science that is mainly concerning about all the work-related aspect of human behaviors, and it's talking about the problems that a man is facing in the working environment, and it is concerning about all those phenomena that is relevant to environmental factors that is disrupting the normal psychology of an employee or individuals. So the scope of the psychology of industrial psychology, as we talked about it in the previous lectures, that mainly we are talking about these subjects in its scopes and into three main divisions we divided. At the very beginning, it's the first division, it is personal psychology. Its scope is where we use this personal psychology for the recruitment and selecting of employees, while the second portion of the scope of psychology we talked about, that was the organizational psychology, that how the communication should take place within organization among the co-workers in a team works, and how the bonds of coordinations be strong among the employee in the organizations, and if any conflict management take place, so how could it be better resolved? We, as a second scope, as a second division of industrial psychology, that is organizational psychology. While the third scope we discussed in previous lecture about was human engineering, since humans are always utilizing and using their skills with the usage of machinery and technology. Now how the humans should adjust themselves with a new technology in a working environment, that they be safe from their dangers, and how the industrial safety should be maintained, and we make sure ourselves that all the employees in the organizations are healthy and their life and properties are safe. So we talked about in the previous class about its scope. Today some of the remaining portion of previous lectures, like the important points of industrial psychology, as well as the practical application of these subjects, as well as the importance of this portion of the psychology. We will be discussing about these topics today. Now there are some key pillars of the industrial psychology. These key points of the industrial psychology, based on it the industrial psychology is using these techniques in order to investigate more about the importance of these subjects. So basic concepts and techniques of industrial psychology are based on following key principles. So there are 5 points that industrial psychology is mainly focusing on it, and mainly it's just separating the main industrial activity from the humans causations and from the humans activity. The first very important key concept and key principle is individual difference. As you better know that whoever lives and comes to this world are not the same, so they are different. When they are different, their attitudes are different, their intelligence level will be different, their aptitudes in personality and skills in regard to the moods and behavior. All these things will be different. So the industrial psychologist, the key pillar is that it talks about and it investigates about this, that no human beings are identical, or they are not the same in every respect. So there are differences too in regard to their moods, personality, intelligence, and attitudes and aptitudes. Based on all these measurements and criteria, individuals are different from each others. So this is a basic assumptions on which psychology is based on, that every person is different from others in regard to their intelligence level, in regard to their aptitudes level, in regard to their about attitudes and personality and skill level. So that's why we have to make sure, since humans are not the same, then we must be patient to our employee in the organizations, that all of them are within organization that are to whom we have given the task, or the task is being assigned to them are not they are all not the same. So we have to be patient with them. We have to make it clear that we are having a good relation with each and every one of them, since everything an individual is different. The second pillar of the industrial psychology is causation of human problems, human behavior. So industrial psychology is always assuming that all the human behaviors is caused. It means the human behavior is caused. If someone behavior is being changed, or it's become rush or bad, or someone behaviors become good, become outstanding. So there is some causation. There is some causes why it becomes good and why it become bad. So therefore it's necessary to understand the causes of behavior in the organizations, that why some of them or some of the peoples are not behaving in a good way, in a right way, while the others are doing in a right way. So that's why we have to understand the real cause of the human behavior, that how their behaviors are affected by social, financial, political, and industrial factors. What are the main causes? We have to understand. So in industrial psychology, the key principles or the key techniques or the key pillar that they're using for understanding of the humans, that is how their behavior is caused and what are the main reason for that. The third point is whole persons. A person is a complete system in himself. It is not possible to separate man and skills of a person. When we talk about the persons, so we cannot separate the persons from each other. Like for example, you cannot separate the mind of person from the skills, because in the mind skills are improved. In the mind skills are learned. So the mind keeps these skills and learned behavior, then humans are using that. So humans are the whole systems, they are the whole persons. We cannot separate them from other. Human dignity is the fourth point, that a person has a mind to think and heart to feel. He has emotion, he has sentiments, he has the inspirations which have to be respected by the organizations. So the main concerning issue in every organization is that we must and have to focus on it, that is human dignity. Where there is a human dignity, there is prosperity, there is peace, there is success, there is development. Where there is no human dignity, or human dignity is not being respected, the organization is being destroyed. There will be no success, there will be no peace, there will be insecurity, and many conflict will arise if the human dignities are not being respected in organizations. So the key 5 pillar of the industrial one of those 4 is human dignity. These are the 5 key pillars of the industrial psychology. Now, we talked about the next issue, that is the application of industrial psychology. It means that where can we use practically this subjects در کجا از این مضمون ما عملا استفاده میکنیم، در کدام موارد، اما چطور میدانیم به تیوری خودی، به نظریه و تیوری و مفاهیمی که ما در به شکل نظری گرفتیم، آموزش گرفتیم، یاد کردیم، چطور میدانیم ما او را یک جنبه عملی بدیم. اما دادن جنبه عملی که هستن به نام application of industrial psychology یاد می شود. پس ما میگیم که psychology is an extreme in a very broad and a very huge field of social sciences, because it is encircling, it's encompassing many different approaches to the study of mental process and behaviors of humans and animals. So the main applications of industrial psychology are as follow. Of which we will be discussing about each individuals one by one. The first application of industrial psychology is a scientific selection of workers. Now, what does this means that scientific selection of the workers? So, industrial organizational psychology or industrial psychology is always offering a whole arrangement of tests such as systematic depth interview in psychological test of intelligence are being taken, aptitudes tests are being taken, skills tests are being taken in interest the personal to know their different characteristics. So its benefit is by these tests the candidates are measured and properly selected, and they will be placed on the job on the right and the proper placed. So scientifically the workers are being selected. Now many applicants might be applying for the post of various posts in the organizations, the post which has been announced by the organizations. Now many applicants will apply there. Now after the shortlisting of the employee who are being capable for the post, then you have to see them psychologically, you have to examine and evaluate them to see their psychological balances, whether they are having a sound and healthy mind and body or not, how is their mental health. For that reasons the knowledge and the concepts and the principles of industrial psychology, the theory would be practically it's applied while we are recruiting or selecting the employee for the post. For that reasons, so the psychologists are utilizing many tests, they are using a lot of methods to see the intelligence levels, the skills and aptitudes and emotions level of a person, whether they are proper, improper or not totally good enough to be recruited in the organizations. For that reasons, we are using the benefit of this subject is to select the workers according to their capability, according to the experience, according to their knowledge and qualifications. Second important point is application of this subject is that is proper division of works. Proper division of works, it means that the work should be divided properly to each individual based on their capacity, experience and qualifications, not based upon some other relations. So proper division of works, when we are going to assign the task to each individual, industrial psychologists will try their best just to properly divide the works of each individuals, and the proper persons are given the proper jobs. So the work should be properly divided according to the abilities, according to the skills and aptitudes of the worker. So they may feel comfortable and always they be satisfied from their job. So its benefit is to may also lead to the higher production of organizations if the right peoples are being placed at the right place. So that's why the application of industrial psychology, the knowledge that we are getting, we can practically apply them when we are just dividing the works to their honors. While the third point where the industrial psychology will be practically applied, that is for minimizing the wastage of human efforts. So this is also a very important point that industrial psychology is trying to minimize the wastage of human power. So it studies psychological factors that is causing the fatigues or accidents and give a feasible suggestions to prevent them. Its benefit of its benefits, the techniques of motivations and moral are used for this purpose. That how can we make lessen, or how can we reduce or decrease or minimize the human efforts which would not be wasted. For that reason, the industrial psychologists are trying just to fill this gap as well in the organization, that human wastage are no more, the human efforts are no more wasted in the organizations. The fourth point is promoting the labor welfare. So it means that it promotes the welfare of the labor by introducing adequate working environment through which job satisfaction will take place and work efficiency will come, and it will increase as well. Also the state the provision of the higher incentives. So the labor relation with each other will become improved, as well as their problem would be lessened, and that problem would be on the spot resolved. And the next point about the application of the industrial psychology is the enhancement of human relationships. The better the human relation in human society is, the better there is production, the better there is prosperity and development will take place. If there is a good relation among the laborers and employees within organizations or in the society, among the peoples or within the families or any working environment, so if the relations are not good, so surely it will happen in your future that all the things will be opposite to the normal, and the things will happen oppositely. The relation among the humans will not be intact and not be smooth enough. So what will happen? Disorganizations among the human society and within organization will take place. به خاطر ما بهتری در روابط انسان ها، به خاطر نگهداری روابط انسان ها در یک اداره که انسان ها امرای خود یک روابط خوب داشته باشد، به اساس این روابط باز میتونه هماهنگی ایجاد بکند، به همکاری و هماهنگی یکدیگر میتونه به اهداف اداری و به اهداف شخصی خود انسان ها در جایی که کار میکند برسد. در غیر از او ما اگر از این علم استفاده نکنیم در روانشناسی، شاید ما مشکلات زیادی دوچار شویم در فعالیت های اقتصادی خود ما. The next point which is also very important is development of human relations. انکشاف روابط انسانی در یک ادارات هم توسط از علم روانشناسی ادارتی سنتی استفاده میشن که عملا چطور ما بتانیم روابط انسان ها در یک ادارات محفوظ باشد، محکم باشد و رسیدگی به مشکلات یکدیگر به وقت خودش صورت و انجام شود. و این خاطر ما از علم روانشناسی industrial psychology از استفاده میکنیم اپلیکیشن ما. So that's why we see that industrial psychology study the attitudes of the employee and employees who are individual differs from each others, and their thoughts and their thinking among workers and management. So their thoughts and their thinking and behaviors are almost, the parameters are different with each others. So the benefit of this is that this helps in developing the industrial relation among workers and management. Now the development of human relations will be always hoping for the better and for positivity, and they are helping just to develop an industrial relations among the workers and management, whether that is middle, top or lower management, but a better management will bring a better result. So as the American Psychological Associations also is talking about the division of the industrial psychology, the psychologist industry, that is mostly the psychologist industry in Washington DC in America in 1959, they cited or they mention, they explain 7 major area which comprises the condensed area of industrial psychology. That so these psychologists in Washington DC in 1959, they devised that there are 7 major area on which the industrial psychologists are comprising are comprised in the content area. So the first industrial psychology that they are being using for the day-to-day activities, selecting and testing of the employees. The second point is that the management and the development of the management and development of the employees. Counseling, employee motivations, human engineering, marketing research, public relation research. So these 7 areas has been divided by the American Psychological Associations for Industrial Psychology, that this industrial psychology should comprise these 7 areas where this subject would be focusing on it, that to work properly for selecting and testing of the employees, as well as for bringing the better management and human development in the organizations, as well as in the sector of counseling, that to counsel the employee in respect to many problems that they are facing in working environment, as well as that how the employee motivation should take place in the organizations, human engineering, marketing research and public relations research. So all these points should be kept in mind while we are talking about the industrial psychology. So industrial psychology is mainly focusing in these 7 areas. روانشناسی صنعتی و روانشناسی تجارتی مباحثات اینمی 7 نقاطی که هستن سرش چرخ میکند و بحث میکند، فوکس سرشان میکند، بخاطر اینمی کارها که یک نظام و یک سیستم ایجاد بکند که در آنجا همه مردمی که در یک زیر چتر کار میکند محفوظ باشد، خوش باشد، آرام باشد، بدون مشکل باشد. روانشناسا یا روانشناسای تجارتی مخصوصا در این رشد در فعالیت‌های اقتصادی همراه کارمندان و تیم ورک خود به خاطر مرفوع کردن و به خاطر کم کردن، کاهش کردن مشکلات انسانی که در میان انسان ها پیدا می شود، فاکتوری از هر کدام فاکتوری که باشد. While now the implication of this subject that we are talking about is so what are the implications of this subjects of industrial psychology on modern industries? In today's competitive environment, industrial psychology plays a very much important role for the betterment of employee as well as for the industries. So they play a very vital roles in reducing the stress, reducing the anxiety, reducing the monotony, boredom, fatigues, and increasing the motivation, moral, job satisfaction among employees. Physical environment of work situation is shifted to a scientific and clinical study of the individuals. The more the employees are not stressed, the more the employees are not anxious, the more the employees are not bored and fatigues in the organizations, the more the organizations will improve and will develop and more productivity will take place. So based on that, that industrial psychology is working, that how does it affects the modern industries. So because many technological changes are taking in workplace, so this technological changes that is taking in workplace should not affect the normal psychology of the employee or those who are being assigned for a specific particular jobs. So that's why the implication of this industrial psychology and its effects on industry is that the industrial psychologists are working from very close angle with the employee in the organization, that the technological changes does not affect their mentalities. The second point is human engineering, which includes designing as per the capability. So it's also very much important, but if the place where I'm working is not suitable for me, so how is it possible that I would adjust with such environment? So here boredom, fatigues will take place, and psychologically person will not be running well, he would not be happy psychologically, so the negative effect will take place. So for that reasons, the implication of industrial psychology on modern industries are very much important, as well as the recruitment and selection will take place. It plays a very major role in the industrial psychology. Training and development of employee, it also plays a very important and development area of the study of the industrial psychology, that is mainly focusing to train and develop the capacity building of their employee in the organization, that they feel always better, and as well as the safety and healthy environment is another main issues it is also very important. If I am not secure, my health is not secure, environment is not secure, how is it possible that productivity will take place? So taking of the productivity or giving benefits to organizations or getting their right objective on their right times, so it's also a very huge and difficult task. So this difficult and huge task will make it clear and make it easy through the help of understanding of the industrial psychology. So this was our today's lessons. Let me remind you once again, if you are having any sort of questions, you are being referred to my WhatsApp numbers. So drop your message or text message or voice message in my WhatsApp numbers. I'm glad to answer the question that you have been facing or you will face during the course of lectures online. So once the situation comes to normal, inshallah, in the class we will go in details with much more examples and make it clear, make it easy for you, understandable, since the subject is quite difficult, but we will try our best to make it very much simple and make it very much structured one. But hope so far the lectures that I am delivering, you can have a better knowledge from it and you could utilize it in your day-to-day life activities. See you till next lecture. Allah Hafiz. Wish you all the best. Thank you for your patience and time.